What's up, friends? Today we're checking out, honestly, Nevermind by Drake. We'll be looking at it from the perspective of a producer, songwriter, singer, etc. I'm excited to check out this album. I've listened to a bit of it, and I like the EDM direction that he's going in on this album. My friend Andre and I did a how to make a Drake song, so we've studied a lot of Drake and tried to understand his whole elements to make that funny meme song. Okay, let's get started with intro. The way that transitions into the next part is so crazy. Yeah, nice little sax solo, keeping it chill. Going with a very Drakey vibe, which I feel like is a more chill vibe to start it out. Let's get into Falling Back.
Finding myself, showing myself, finding.
I like how they use the bass as almost an extra instrument coming in between the bars more than throughout the whole song. Also, that chill pad is brilliant.
I know you know all about it.
Also like the almost sounds like a muted alarm or downsampled alarm.
Falling back on me, falling back.
Love the falsetto at this point. Falling back on. Beautiful. Really tender. Song has a lot of tender vibes. Man, these transitions are dope. I love that yelled vocal that introduces the new track and how the track's kind of degrading at the end in a really fun way. Yeah, it's a little repetitive at the end, but I do like that subtle addition of reverb, maybe a tiny bit of echo that creates this new sonic atmosphere to close out the song. It's beautiful. I mean, for house music, it's not the most repetitive thing in the world, because house music can be kind of repetitive and it can take a while to build. So this makes sense for a house track. Texts Go Green is the next song.
If I come around you, can I be?
I love the... I don't know if that's a vocal or a synth, but it sounds great. And then those pianos, the doom, 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 doom.
Wind up in the mirror, just
So much space for his vocal, too.
see yourself. If I was in your shoes, I would hate myself.
It's just drums and vocals a lot of the time.
We can do it this time. Just have some faith. We can do it this time.
I love the flow on, we can do it this time. Man, that kick really cuts through the mix in an interesting way. Very fascinating sounding kick. I feel like I've used something very similar to that on Logic Pro. There's a stock plugin that sounds really similar to that. Yeah, I really like the spacing on that. I really like that repetitive piano part. I like how it cut in between those vocals. Interesting that there's no bass on the song. There was just kicks, a synth, and then the type of sound, and then the drums. Very few elements repeating over themselves gives so much room for the vocals to take center stage. Groovy beat. I might can jam to it for a while. Not too much change in the song besides the vocal melody, but groovy beat. Currents is the song. So much interesting percussion on this song. So weird. It reminds me of SpongeBob for some reason. Also loved the brushes when they came in.
But I'm moving to your rhythm.
I love that guitar that's like dun, 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 dun. That's the guitar tone that they've added on top of his vocal. Also, it feels like a Foley artist decided to make house music on this song. It's really interesting, really weird. I like it. Yeah, interesting song. I liked the different parts in this song. There was a clear distinction in terms of form for the instrumental section. I really liked the dum 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 dum. That had a nice beat to it. The was a little weird, just because it reminded me of SpongeBob so much. I'm sure I could get used to it though. And then I like that they dropped off all the instruments for a second, except for those pads, and his vocals kind of gave a nice room for that. Gave an earnestness to the song, made it a dance song that had that touch of earnestness. Pretty common technique in a lot of EDM. I did similar things on my album Giovanni with the song Last Call, where it gave moments like that for vocals to have a more serious, somber moment. Okay, next song is A Keeper.
I found a new muse.
I love the sound they got out of the piano on this. Almost sounds like it's a piano mixed with a harp. There's so much more of a plucking sound to that piano. Really beautiful. Really pretty.
Streets don't play favorites though. I'm not afraid of it though. God is okay with me, so
The synth development on this song is so cool. That really high, spacey synth, those stabs that are going on those syncopated beats that add that nice dance flavor to it. A lot of great stuff going on.
given that, why would I keep you around? Why would I keep you around? Why would I keep?
Because we've had that high pass filter on that kick throughout that whole section, the percussion didn't really take up that much of the high end. And so when those hi-hats come in at the end to build in and then just really start going, it sounds so energetic. It gives new explosive energy to the end, and I really like it. Also, the song sounds really earnest. Why would I keep you around? Just such a great hook. A lot of really great hooks on this album. Calling My Name is next up. Calling My Name.
My heart it beats different rhythm.
Killer cut block, killer cut block, killer cut block.
Total atmospheric vibes with these synths and these electric guitars doing these strange things, and then killer block, and then just starts jamming. That interruption is so brilliant. It's so cool. Love the ending of that song. Oh, it's so weird. I love the artifact of that vocal. It sounds like it was being ripped from another track completely. Also, the bass is so bouncy. Oof. What a vibe. What a vibe. Absolute vibe. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. Helps the channel grow, helps me get paid, etc. Trying to make enough money on this to survive. Sticky is next up.
Hey, hold my hanging on my neck. The bracelet matches.
I love that vocal that's being chopped and like, It sounds so cool. Reminds me of the White Lotus TV show. Interesting use of vocals. The atmospheric vibe of that sample is so unique for the rest of this song because it's such this hype piece. Oh, it's chopped so brilliantly. I'm so impressed.
Things put to rest, and everybody takes a breath, and everything gets addressed. It's you alone with your regret.
I love how that 808 just almost morphs into a kick because of how much just body it has. Or maybe there is a kick in an 808 and they're kind of switching off. Either way, it sounds really good. Drake's flow in that song is sick. Lyrically, the most interesting song on the album so far. And the production is really cool too. It's really fun. Just gets you going. I liked the line about how he can't go to the Met because it's not a big enough party that he can bring. That dedication to the homies reminds me of Kingdom Hearts. Friends are my power. Love to hear it. The next song is massive.
Means unchanged, baby. I can't help it, I'm so into you.
The way that kick incorporates that countdown noise is so cool. That beat is rad. I like how it kept getting more and more drenched in reverb, and then it just hit.
Oh, when you're ready, we can put this behind us. Maybe we can.
The rhythm on that piano is so fascinating, just coming in on those really syncopated beats. The way everything plays against that kind of countdown noise is so interesting.
Find us again, 'cause I don't go.
None of the instruments feel like they're exactly on rhythmically, which gives it this great organic feel, which you don't normally hear in house music. Really just gets you grooving and moving. And then Drake's vocals are great on top of this too. It's almost more relaxed and chill, like taking back everything else that's happening. Genius piece of music. I love how they're able to make that house beat seem so distinct and so intricate through the use of these layered instruments that gave it a whole new vibe and a whole new level. Also liked how the drums felt like they never came in quite the same way. They drop out, automate to have the high end taken off, and then they'd build back in. They'd come in right away. Just so many different uses of rhythmic instruments to give the song a fresh vibe. But at the same time, it felt like it could be something from the, late 90s, early 2000s. Had that sonic quality to it that I'd expect from that era. Flights Booked is next up. I love that guitar that comes in at the beginning, and then drums come in, everything drops off, and you get back into Drake's vocal. I feel like the song builds in such an interesting way. It's not a pop song where the vocals come in right away. They give a lot of time to develop the instrumental ideas before introducing the vocal. Helps us pay attention to those individual elements.
When last did we feel this close together, chasing sunsets?
Hearing layered Drake vocals is like a revelation. I feel like he so often just has that single layer in his vocals. So when it's just packed and sounds like almost a gang vocal, it's so interesting. Love it. Those African instrumentals at the end really added another quality to it. Very otherworldly, I feel like that song was. Overdrive is next up. That pad does add some color to that guitar, but I don't love the pad. I almost wish it wasn't there as often because I really like that guitar tone. I feel it fits well with his flow and his vocal melodies. But hey, not bad.
My heart is racing, I cannot slow down, and it's bothering me. How far?
That shaker has a nice sound to it. Sounds organic. I like that mix of an electronic kick and an organic shaker.
Open, though you can see all my cars. My heart is in overdrive.
I love that. My heart is in overdrive. Such a good hook. Great vocal hook on that song. Yeah, I loved everything but the pad on that song. Really liked the electric guitar at the end. Liked that it had a chance to solo a little bit. Great vocal hook. Downhill is next up. Love those drums there. They almost sound like low marimbas or steel drums, and then it sounds like a keyboard clicking sound as a kick. So different, so experimental in terms of rhythm.
Overnight, we're done overnight.
I love the hooks on this song. The overnight and the try. So cool. It's just such a catchy piece of music. I'd love to cover it. If you're interested in seeing me cover it, I'm going to have a comment in the comment section saying, hey, would you like to see me cover Downhill? Like it if you're interested. Great ending too. The we're going down. So cool. Really great hooks on that song. The percussion kind of reminds me of Lion King too. I think that synth with that percussion, that kind of pairing, just is very reminiscent of that 90s Disney classic. As far as just songs go, I think that might be my favorite on the album. As far as overall production and how hard it goes, I think Sticky is the best. Okay, next up is Tie That Binds.
Change your name. Oh, baby.
That percussion has a completely different sound when that guitar comes in. Almost sounds like it was downsampled before. It just doesn't sound as full. That acoustic guitar is rad. So random. I wonder if they have like Santana playing on it or something. Sounds really nice. I looked online and I couldn't find out who's playing that guitar, but they're doing a stellar job. It's killer. I really like the guitar riff on this song. Might be my favorite part of the song. I love when that guitar and piano are playing off of each other and then the beat drops in so hard. It's so cool. Yeah, I love hearing acoustic guitar and piano playing off of each other. That's one of my favorite things. I did it a lot toward the end of my latest album, Bashing My Head Through a Wall, that'll be coming out end of summer, early fall. Fun vibe to that song. Not the most inspired vocals in my opinion, but I really like how the acoustic guitar took center stage. Really pretty decision. Liability, second to last song.
You twist of my head, I'm changing for you, changing for
Love the slowed down sounding vocal. So different. Really gives a new aspect to the Drake vocal that we know.
you, changing for you, you get in my bed.
This song's a little slow for me. The rhythm is a lot different than the rest of the album. Not sure if it's my favorite.
You twist on my head, I'm changing for you, changing for
I do like the synths. I do like the slowed down vocal. Song just moves a little slow to me. I like that this album is for the most part a house album with Drake on top of some really interesting beats. And that one's more of a departure from that house vibe. It does still have that sad boy vibe that Drake does well, just not the strongest song on the album. Jimmy Crooks featuring 21 Savage is the last track.
Life is the only thing we need. They need me to go, but I don't want to leave. Rest in peace, Lil Key.
I really like that saxophone sample used on this song. It's very much more of a trap sounding hi-hats going on here. More classic Drake, kind of what we standardly expect from Drake.
Spin a block twice like it ain't nowhere to park. Smack the back side of his head like he barked.
I like that 808 rhythm going on. A dome, 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 dome. Dum, dum.
He came in a rose, but he left in a stretcher. Let my brother drive while I shoot, team effort.
Yeah, that was a hype track. I think the sample used on the first bits was better than the piano and strings at the end. Overall, good album. The last two tracks don't really fit. The last track is a banger. It is a good song. I can see why it was included on the album just because of its quality, but I think maybe it would have worked better as just a single released separately. I feel like in general, the first 12 tracks of this album were fairly cohesive, going for that house EDM vibe, but the last two tracks don't fit into that specific genre, and so I almost feel like they shouldn't have been included on this album, maybe on a separate project or on a single with just the two songs. I like to see this type of experimentation from Drake. Certified Lover Boy felt like more of the same, and honestly, Nevermind feels like him taking a step in a more experimental direction, and I can really appreciate that desire to be experimental, to go to new boundaries. Same thing with Views, you know? It was a fairly experimental album for Drake. It is pop, and this one is house music, but, you know, it's different. It's not just the standard rap that he's used to doing, and so I think it creates a new and unique vibe. I've seen a little bit of hate that this album has got on the internet, and I honestly don't understand it. I feel like there's some really interesting stuff going on here. Sonically, melodically, Drake is trying new things, layers of vocals that we haven't really heard before from him. So I think it's fairly fresh, honestly, for him. Hope you enjoyed this reaction. Hope it gave you some new insights. I also hope you will check out our music video for how to make a Drake song. It's fairly comical, entertaining. I think you'll like it. If you think, man, I like this guy's insights, he adds something to my life, I would really appreciate if you subscribed. Thanks so much for checking this video out. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And that's it. Catch you on the flip.
Now I make a Drake song. Now I make a Drake song. Make it like a sing along.
How to make a Drake song.